2 stones, no cement, no steel reinforcement, no modern machinery. And yet, they exhibit remarkable alignment. Their surfaces meet with a precision that appears intentional, controlled, and engineered, not accidental, not improvised, but executed with purpose. Today, factories rely on digital modeling, laser calibration, and precision cutting equipment. Computer systems simulate stress before a material is even touched. Machines cut stone, guided by numerical instructions accurate to fractions of a millimeter. Alignment is verified using lasers traveling at the speed of light. Errors are calculated instantly. Corrections are automatic. But 4,500 years ago, ancient engineers built a structure that still challenges our understanding of large-scale stone precision. A structure assembled not with steel cranes or hydraulic stabilizers, but with human coordination, geometry, and an understanding of material behavior developed through observation and repetition. In this episode of Engineering Then and Now, we compare ancient quarrying, transport, placement, and alignment with modern industrial stone processing. Not to exaggerate mystery, not to diminish modern capability, but to understand engineering across time. Precision, scale, labor, technology. These are the variables that define construction in every era. The Great Pyramid of Giza was completed around 2560 BCE. It rises to an original height of approximately 146 meters. Its base spans roughly 230 meters on each side. This scale alone places it among the largest stone structures ever built by human hands. It contains approximately 2.3 million stone blocks. Each block weighs between 2 and 15 tons on average. Some granite blocks used in internal chambers exceed 70 tons in weight. The total mass of the pyramid exceeds 6 million tons. To understand this scale in modern terms, moving this amount of material today would require thousands of heavy truck deliveries and coordinated industrial logistics. Yet ancient engineers achieved this without engines, without fuel-powered cranes, and without automated lifting systems. They relied entirely on planning, sequencing, and controlled labor execution. Most of the pyramid's blocks were limestone quarried locally near the construction site. This reduced transport distance and logistical complexity. However, the granite used in critical structural chambers was transported from Aswan, nearly 800 kilometers away. Granite is significantly harder and denser than limestone. Its compressive strength makes it suitable for structural areas exposed to high loads. Transporting such heavy material across this distance required the use of barges along the Nile River. Water transport allowed large masses to be moved efficiently using buoyancy instead of friction. This principle remains central to modern cargo shipping. Even today, transporting heavy materials over water requires far less energy than transporting the same load over land. Ancient engineers leveraged environmental systems to extend their logistical capability beyond human muscle alone. Modern industrial stone supply chains operate on similar principles of efficiency, but with different tools. Quarry sites use explosive fracturing, hydraulic splitters, and diamond wire cutting to extract stone blocks rapidly. Heavy-duty trucks transport blocks to processing facilities using reinforced suspension systems designed to handle extreme loads. Cranes powered by hydraulic pistons lift blocks using controlled pressure systems. Computer-controlled logistics software tracks material movement, delivery timing, and structural placement sequences. What required thousands of coordinated workers in ancient construction can now be performed by a smaller number of trained machine operators. However, despite technological advancement, the core engineering challenge remains unchanged. Moving mass safely, predictably, and precisely still depends on understanding force, balance, and structural behavior. The tools evolved, but the physics remained constant. Ancient quarry workers extracted stone using tools that appear simple by modern standards. Copper chisels, wooden wedges, and Dolerite pounding stones formed the primary tool set. Copper, being softer than iron or steel, required frequent sharpening and replacement. This limited cutting speed and required continuous manual effort. Workers struck stone repeatedly, exploiting natural fracture lines and material weaknesses. Wooden wedges were inserted into cracks and soaked with water. As the wood expanded, internal pressure forced the stone apart. This method converted moisture expansion into mechanical force. The process was slow, controlled, and dependent on experience rather than instrumentation. Precision emerged through repetition, observation, and accumulated craftsmanship. Modern quarrying replaces manual force with mechanical and material science advantages. Diamond wire saws cut through stone using industrial diamonds embedded in rotating cables. Diamonds provide superior hardness, allowing precise cutting through granite and limestone with minimal structural damage. Bridge saws move along fixed axes, ensuring straight cuts across large surfaces. CNC-controlled cutting systems execute digital cutting instructions with millimetric accuracy. Every cut is calculated in advance using computer models. Sensors monitor vibration, alignment, and cutting resistance in real time. This transforms quarrying from manual extraction into a controlled industrial process. The variability of human force is replaced with predictable mechanical performance. Despite differences in speed and technology, both ancient and modern quarrying rely on the same physical principles. Stone fractures along planes determined by internal crystal structure and stress distribution. Whether struck by a Dolerite hammer or cut by a diamond wire, the material responds according to its structural properties. Ancient workers learned to read these properties through visual cues and tactile feedback. Modern systems measure them through sensors and computational analysis. The ancient quarry was slower, but guided by practical understanding. The modern quarry is faster, but guided by instrumentation and data. The objective remains identical. Separate mass from bedrock in a controlled and predictable way. Once extracted, stone blocks had to be transported across significant distances. Without engines or wheeled heavy transport systems, ancient engineers relied on sled-based movement. These sleds distributed weight across a larger surface area, reducing pressure on the ground. Workers pulled sleds using ropes made from plant fibers. Coordinated pulling allowed forces from multiple individuals to combine. This converted distributed human force into effective mechanical work. Evidence suggests surfaces were prepared to improve movement efficiency. Sand was sometimes moistened with water to reduce friction between sled and ground. This reduced resistance and allowed heavy loads to move more smoothly. Friction is one of the primary forces resisting motion. Reducing friction lowers the force required to move an object. Experimental reconstructions demonstrate that wet sand reduces friction significantly compared to dry sand. This transforms unstable loose particles into a more cohesive surface. Ancient engineers may not have described this using modern physics terminology, but their methods demonstrate clear practical understanding of force management. Ramps provided gradual elevation changes, reducing vertical lifting requirements. This converted vertical movement into horizontal movement over distance, which requires less force. Modern factories achieve the same objective using entirely different tools. Hydraulic cranes convert fluid pressure into lifting force. Conveyor systems reduce friction using rotating surfaces. Forklifts distribute load weight through reinforced structural frames. Electric motors convert energy into controlled mechanical motion. What required hundreds of coordinated workers in ancient construction can now be achieved by a single machine operator. Yet the underlying engineering principle remains unchanged. Movement requires overcoming resistance through applied force. Whether that force comes from muscle or machinery, the physics governing motion remains constant. One of the most remarkable engineering achievements of the Great Pyramid is its alignment. The structure is oriented extremely close to true north. The margin of error is so small that even modern engineers recognize its precision as extraordinary. This level of alignment affects structural stability, load symmetry, and long-term durability. If a structure of this scale is misaligned, stress distribution becomes uneven. Over time, this can lead to deformation, cracking, or collapse. Ancient builders understood that orientation was not symbolic alone, it was structural. Ancient surveyors likely used stellar observations to establish directional reference points. Circumpolar stars rotate around a fixed point in the sky. By observing their movement, surveyors could determine true north with high accuracy. They used simple but effective tools such as plumb lines, leveling trenches filled with water, and geometric measurement techniques. Water naturally finds level due to gravity. This allowed builders to create a flat foundation across hundreds of meters. Every block placed afterward depended on the accuracy of this initial reference plane. Alignment was not corrected later, it was established from the beginning. Modern factories use laser alignment systems and GPS-based positioning. Laser beams provide straight reference lines unaffected by human perception. Digital instruments measure angles and distances instantly. Computer systems detect even minor deviations and guide corrections. This reduces human error and increases speed. But the objective remains identical: establish a stable reference framework before construction begins. Ancient engineers achieved this through observation and geometry. Modern engineers achieve it through instrumentation and computation. Different tools, same engineering requirement. Every structure must manage the force of its own weight. This force, known as compressive load, pushes downward through the structure into the ground. If load is not distributed properly, stress concentrates in weak areas. This leads to cracking, deformation, or structural failure. The Great Pyramid demonstrates a sophisticated understanding of load distribution. Its wide base spreads weight across a large surface area. This reduces pressure on any single point of the foundation. As the pyramid rises, each successive layer contains fewer blocks. This gradually reduces structural load at higher elevations. The internal granite chambers represent one of the most advanced structural features. Granite has higher compressive strength than limestone. This makes it suitable for supporting concentrated weight loads above certain chambers. Builders installed relieving structures made of angled stone layers. These layers redirect vertical force away from vulnerable spaces. This prevents structural collapse caused by concentrated stress. Modern structural engineering uses similar principles. Steel beams, reinforced concrete columns, and load distribution frameworks perform the same function. They channel force safely through structural pathways. Modern engineers use structural analysis software to simulate load behavior before construction begins. Finite element analysis divides structures into thousands of small sections. Computer models calculate stress distribution across each section. Engineers identify weak points and reinforce them in advance. Ancient builders did not have digital simulation tools. They relied on empirical observation, geometry, and accumulated experience. Their success demonstrates practical structural understanding. The pyramid has remained structurally stable for more than 4,000 years. Durability becomes the ultimate proof of engineering effectiveness. Modern factories prioritize speed, efficiency, and repeatability. Automated systems perform cutting, lifting, and placement operations continuously. Production timelines that once required decades can now be completed within months. Precision is verified using sensors, lasers, and digital metrology. Human labor focuses on supervision rather than direct force application. Energy from electricity and fuel replaces biological energy from human muscles. This increases output, consistency, and scalability. But it does not change the fundamental laws governing structures. Gravity still applies. Force still distributes through materials. Stability still depends on geometry. Ancient engineering operated within strict technological constraints. Without engines, builders relied on coordination, sequencing, and physical understanding of materials. They adapted their methods to available tools and environmental conditions. They optimized structure shape to maximize stability and durability. Modern engineering operates with expanded technological capability. Machines amplify force. Computers amplify calculation. Instruments amplify precision. Yet the underlying objective remains unchanged: Create structures that resist failure and endure over time. The comparison between ancient and modern engineering is not about superiority. It is about continuity. Tools evolved, materials evolved, technology evolved, but engineering logic remained constant. The Great Pyramid stands as evidence of structural understanding achieved without modern machinery. Modern factories demonstrate how technology accelerates and refines those same principles. Engineering then, engineering now. Different technology, same ambition. To build structures that endure beyond their creators. If you want to explore more comparisons between ancient engineering and modern industrial systems, subscribe to Factory Open Day.